whenever anyone typed in your phone number, it came up as saying that you were Ali McCoist. We're not quite sure how that's happened, but Sam panicked and thought, well, we can't have Ali McCoist coming on to talk about your song. Although that would have been good. I'd have paid good money to hear that. But
absolutely, so would I. I mean, I feel like that's never even been like a pseudonym for me, like anonymous name when I check into hotels or anything. But that's brilliant. I love that. And by the way, really enjoying the show. Great show and great to chat with you again.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Yeah, it's always good chatting to you, mate. Talk to us about this. Is this a lockdown single? How did it come about?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's obviously been a very strange time for a lot of us, and but yeah, like many artists, it's been a really good time to kind of just knuckle down and get creative. So
have you found yourself being creative during this? Because I know a lot of people, whether they're writers or whether they're musicians or filmmakers or anything, have actually, we always used to say that, if only I had the time, I'd sit down, I'd bash out that novel, I'd record that concept album about aliens coming to Ipswich, all those things. And then, of course, we all got the time, and everyone went, it turns out it wasn't time I needed. It was actually a bit of something else.
Yeah. I think, it does seem to have gone either way, but for me, it's been more productive than I can think of. I mean, we just come off the back of the 2-month tour. We were doing this Boys of Act tour, travelling all around the UK, which, of course, was cut short because of, everything that happened, but it's still being rescheduled for next year, so all good. But I kind of needed the time, so it was nice to have some time at home, and being like a part-time producer, I spend most of my time in the studio anyway, so it was actually kind of not different from the day job. But I just felt like slightly compelled to write songs about things that matter and things that are, I think it helps you put things into perspective with everything that's going on. I mean, when we first started out as a band, it was all just about, writing catchy songs that are just kind of like slogans for the band and to just
don't bore us, get to the chorus. Yeah,
exactly. But now I thought, well, actually, I'm a bit more compelled to actually write something that means something. And the first song I did, which was written with a good friend of mine, was called "Where Were You When the World Stopped," and that was very specifically about the lockdown, quite literal. But then with this one, I spoke to so many people online. I mean, we're fortunate that we can still, connect with people through IG Live and Zoom and all that kind of thing. But I spoke to so many people that were telling me how they felt and what was going on and how Corona has affected them. And that sort of inspired me to put out this song, because it's very much about, Where Were You was about, being in the lockdown. Smile Again is more about, coming out and sort of facing the world again. But obviously at that point, I didn't realize how long this was going to go on. Of course, none of us did. But obviously we're still very much in the middle of it. But Smile Again was supposed to offer some kind of, a little bit of light relief for people that have been having a bit of a tough time.
It's a great tune. It's a good old kind of summer's evening vibe as well. Almost Balearic, mate. Almost Balearic.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess music is even when you compare it to something like TV or writing a book and stuff. Music is, at the moment, in terms of technology and whatnot, is one of the very few parts of the arts that you can do from start to finish at home as well as you could do if you were in a £2,000 a day studio. Whereas even like making TV programs, the TV shows that we've seen that have been made through lockdown, whilst creatively and the script might all be there, technically it's never going to be up to par with what you can recreate in a TV studio. Whereas music is actually has the ability to be pretty seamless, and that's good. That's lucky, right?
Yeah, it's a really amazing thing. I mean, we're very fortunate, and that is quite a change from, say, when we first came out as a band back in '99, where we were very reliant on producers, on studios, on record labels. But the good thing nowadays is the artist is so much more self-reliant, and they're so much more self-contained, and you pretty much have to be your own marketing team with all the social media and everything. So nowadays, you know, most artists are very self-contained, and you can even release your music straight away to your fans, and you can straight away be doing concerts online. I mean, I never thought that as a band, A1, that we would be doing online concerts, but even like a lot of other bands, I'm sure you're aware of, we've been doing shows online, and it is definitely an adjustment, and we all have to start learning how to use Zoom and everything. But I think during this time, it's really helped all creatives to kind of figure out a way to adapt. And you were saying about TV shows and stuff. I think it's incredible the amount of output there, creative output there has been. I mean, you look at a film like The Host on Shudder. It's a film that's completely created during the lockdown.
Amazing, isn't it? And I'm going to talk about that a bit later on. And that's one of the few things where it's kind of its limitations actually condensed it into a really tight storyline as well.
Yeah, quite. And I think for us as a band, it's just been a case of, right, how can we connect with our fans? Obviously, you know, people can't come along and see us for the time being. But it's you know, obviously it's had its challenges, and I do feel for anybody that's been really affected by it. But it's all just about adapting to the new norm. But you know, I used this song as a way to kind of really connect. It wasn't just about, you know, hey, I want to have a hit, or I want to put a song out. I used this song as an opportunity to connect with people, and I started out by just putting the lyrics online, because it really is a song about somebody that has really struggled in you know, really tough times. And it was, by the way, it was co-written by Russ Ballard of the band Argent, and it was a bit of a legend. Obviously, he wrote God Gave Rock and Roll for Kiss, and several other massive hits. And we wrote this many years ago, and it was at that time it was about a girl that was really struggling, you know, and I was just able to adapt it to sort of suit now, because we started writing it quite a few years back. So I readapted it now, redid the lyrics of the verse and things, and it's really connected with people, and that's a really, really amazing thing, that we're able to connect with people all over the world, you know, instantaneously through IG Live. And you know, so I haven't given in and done the TikTok dances yet. Even I've resisted that. And I think I'll steer clear of that. But yeah, I mean, it's all about adapting, and it's been really well received, and yeah.
And so this is just a brief sojourn away from A1. Are you still A1 through and through?
Yeah, we are. We were actually working on an album whilst we were on tour, which is brilliant. I mean, that's another thing that you can do these days, where back in the day you probably couldn't. We could just take the laptops on the road with us. Got Logic on it, and we produce a whole album on the road. But obviously, now that we're not together, it's slightly harder, because as a band, I mean, when you do your own solo output, it's all about yourself and what you want to do. But when you're part of a 4-piece band, it's very important to have everyone's input. As you probably know yourself from being in bands in the past and stuff. If you know, it's very important to have everyone's, you know, individual identity in that music. So we will get back together, and we will finish the album we're working on, hopefully at the end of the year. We've actually got some gigs in Norway in a few weeks. We did originally have 2 gigs, but because of the social distancing, we've got 4 gigs instead of 2. So we're just splitting the audience so that it's all safe and everything. So we'll have 200 people in each audience. So yeah, so it's kind of slowly getting back to normal over there. But that will be a first for us, getting back on the road during these crazy times.
Amazing. And how can people find out more about that? And is there a mailing list that they need to sign up to?
Yeah, absolutely. On my website, Mark Reed Official, we've got a nice little Mark's monthly newsletter, and also on the socials on Mark Reed Official and A1 Official, you can find out all about the gigs. And by the way, I really enjoyed Mick's piece about Bowie. It was actually in New York in 2000 when David Bowie had an album, Heathen, out, and we actually had the opportunity, and we were on the same label. We were on Sony, and we had the opportunity to go and see him live. And I was blown away to have the opportunity to be, you know, invited along to see David Bowie in concert. But I have to say, it was a strange one. It was very, very self-indulgent, and I mean, but you know, he's Bowie. He can do whatever he wants, and he's still so incredible. But yeah, Mick hit the nail on the head there through those sort of experimental times where he was trying some different things out. And I remember it vividly. He did one hit at the end of the night. He did Young Americans at the end of the night, but for the rest of the show, it was all the new stuff, which was very
intense drum and bass stuff. Yeah,
very, very intense, but incredible. What an experience. So,
Wonderful. I mean, yeah, luckily, he was in a position where he could just do what the hell he wanted, and you just you left him to experiment, knowing that eventually he'd come back to you, I think. But, listen,
yeah, quite. Mark, thanks, Jamie. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, we're just going to have to dash because I've got a break to go to. But listen, it's always good to chat to you, mate. Send my regards to the rest of the boys, and Smile Again is on all streaming platforms.